hope everyone is having a great day. Everyone have a nice day, and now let's watch the movie of Joyce Meyer's sad story. Joyce Meyer, one of the most famous Christian writers and speakers in the world, didn't get to where she is today, a place of hope and inspiration, without going through a lot of pain and suffering first. She was born on June 4, 1943 in St. Louis, Missouri. Joyce Meyer, born in Joyce Hutchison, had a childhood full of constant abuse, neglect, and mental turmoil. These events not only changed her, but they also made her who she is today. Her early years, but they also set the stage for her final change in ministry of healing and restoration. Joyce's father served in World War II and was greatly affected by the horrors of the war. For many years of her childhood, he was abusive and hurtful to her. Joyce's father sexually abused her, which she bravely told others about later in her ministry to help them deal with light traumatic events. The abuse began when she was very young and went on through her teens, making the surroundings difficult for both mother and daughter. It is also the story of their long relationship and marriage which follows. In addition to her pain, Joy's mother knew about the abuse but did nothing to stop it. Whether out of fear or denial, her mother's silence made Joy feel betrayed and abandoned by the person who should have protected her. This lack of support made her feel even more worthless, angry, and ashamed. The years of suffering deeply affected Joyce's sense of self and her understanding of love, leaving her emotionally broken as she entered adulthood. Being an adult as a young adult, Joyce carried the weight of her childhood into her relationships and choices. She got married young, but the marriage quickly fell apart due to cheating and instability. This made her feel even worse about herself and her lack of worth. In 1967, she married Dave Meyer, whose stability and love gave her a solid base for her feelings of inadequacy and hopelessness. However, Joyce's inner turmoil continued, and she struggled to find meaning and peace in her life. This was the turning point in her life. In the middle of her pain and anger, Joyce cried out to God in prayer while she was driving to work one day. She asked for his help and direction. It was in this vulnerable moment that Joyce felt God's presence and love through prayer, which she describes as life-changing. With a renewed sense of hope and the belief that God had a plan for her life, even though she had a terrible past, Ange was determined to heal and grow. Joyce got really excited about studying the Bible and spent a lot of time reading it. The Bible verses that gave her comfort and strength talked about God's love, forgiveness, and ability to heal even the most broken lives. Through her faith, she started to face her past and let go of the anger and bitterness that had held her captive for so many years. Forgiving her father was one of the hardest parts of her journey, but she did it because she believed that God could change her life. She even went so far as to care for him and her mother. As they got older, her father finally changed his mind and accepted Christ before he died. This act of forgiveness not only set Joyce free from her anger, but it also became a central part of her ministry, showing how God's grace can heal even the deepest wounds. As Joyce's faith grew, she felt called to share her story and help others who were going through their own pain. She started teaching Bible studies in her home and later started giving talks at local churches, sharing her message of hope. People were moved by her messages of forgiveness and redemption, and her ministry grew quickly. In the early 1980s, she started Joyce Meyer Ministries, which has since touched millions of people around the world through books, conferences, and TV shows. Joyce Meyer's story is both sad and moving. It's a powerful lesson of how strong the human spirit is and how faith can change things. Her childhood, which was marked by years of sexual abuse and mental neglect, paints a horrifying picture of what it's like to go through unimaginable pain. She is in pain, but it is this pain that makes her story so powerful. Joyce's ability to get out of a very bad situation and find hope in God shows a deep strength that speaks to everyone who has been through hard times. It's hard to understand how her father could abuse her so badly. He not only took away her innocence, but he also left marks that shaped her sense of self and her relationships. The most interesting thing about her story is how she decided not to let her past define her. Giving in to bitterness, she turned to God for help and healing. Her choice to lean on her faith even though she was hurting is a powerful example of how hope can come from the worst situations. One of the most moving parts of her story is that she was able to forgive her father. Forgiving someone isn't always easy, especially when the hurt is so deep and personal. The fact that Joyce could not only forgive him but also care for him as he got older says a lot about how strong her faith is. Her promise to show God's love, it's a warning that forgiving someone doesn't mean forgetting what they did wrong. It means breaking free from anger and resentment. What made her change? A lot of people can connect to the feeling of yelling at God while driving to work. When life is crazy and hopeless, finding God's presence can feel like a lifeline. This moment of surrender was the spark that changed her life. It tells us that faith often starts when we are at our weakest. There are times when we let God's kindness enter our lives. Joyce Meyer's journey isn't just about getting over her past, it's also about using it to inspire and help others. It takes a lot of courage to share your story in public, to teach forgiveness and spread a message of hope. This is where Joyce's legacy shines the brightest. Her life shows that our deepest wounds can become our greatest strengths. Testimonies makes us think about how we can deal with our own pain, forgive those who have hurt us, and find meaning in our problems. Joyce's story also shows how important faith is as a way to heal and change. It is a strong reminder that God's love can heal us no matter how broken we feel. When I think about Joyce Meyer's life, I am amazed by how strong she was and how strongly she believed in God's power to redeem us. Her journey inspires me to deal with life's challenges. Tough times with faith and hope, this story shows that even the worst experiences can lead to growth and purpose. It encourages us all to seek healing, forgive, and be open to the possibility of a better future. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you like this video, please leave a like and comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. See you in the next video.